So I've decided that I want to document Kaidynce's journey to eating solid foods. Some of the reasons why I want to document this is, one, for her. It's going to be something that I can show her when she gets older so that she can kind of see what she went through step by step. Another one is just for us, so that when she does get the gtube out and she is eating all the foods, we can kind of like look back on this and just kind of like remember how far she's come, what she's gone through. And my other reason is because I want to help other people who are going through similar situations like us. I know that when we first found out that Kaidynce had a laryngeal cleft and she was going to need a G-tube, it freaked us out. We had never even heard of that. And so of course, like, we Googled it, and there's not that much information out there. I know that every kid is different and every kid's timeline is going to be different, but I mean, like, when I first Googled it, what really helped kind of like wrap my head around the situation and like what happened is a blog called, oh my god, what is it called? Oh my god, I can't think of it. Now I can't think of it, but I'm gonna link it in the, oh, it's The Sip of Heaven, that's what it was. Cute name. It was called The Sip of Heaven, and it's basically about a mom and her little girl who discovered that they had a type 2 laryngeal cleft, same thing that Kaidynce had, and she had to have like a G-tube and stuff like that, and it goes through their day-to-day life. It was 8 months old until she was like about 2 or 3, and that's when she was able to get it out. So I just kind of want this series, I want to call my series One Teaspoon at a Time, but I want the series to kind of like be similar to that blog, so that people who have any questions or who, you know, just start to like Google things, maybe this could be like a reference for them, or, you know, serve them the way that that blog kind of like served me and helped me and kind of guided me. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump into it. I'm gonna do the first update today. So in August we had Kaidynce's third swallow study, and it went really well. They said that she had no penetration of the airway, and she also had no aspiration, and that was on anything. They did thin liquids, and then they also did like the purees and a like rice cereal. So everything went good. So they decided from that point that she was cleared to eat solid foods, and we can start working with occupational therapy to get her going on like her solids. And so from there, they decided the best thing to start her with were the stage 2 because of her age. She's already 13 months. And so we need to catch her up, and they wanted to catch her up in a pretty quick timeline. So they decided that the stage 2 was going to be a good fit for her. So Labor Day weekend, we were supposed to have an appointment with occupational therapy, but we ended up going out of town, and that weekend Kaidynce ended up getting sick. So at that point she got like a cold, she had like a fever, and plus she was teething, so she wanted nothing to do with any of the purees. So that kind of sucked because she wasn't taking anything. I could maybe get 2 to 4 of the little spoonfuls, and then she was done. She wanted nothing to do with it. So when we went to occupational therapy on Thursday, that just passed, September 6th, the occupational therapist had said that, yeah, she had a regression. Even with her, she didn't want to take anything, and when I was able to give her something, she ended up gagging really bad, like where she almost threw up. And so the occupational therapist was like, oh no, we're gonna have to switch up your instructions, we're gonna have to take it slow. And then she gave me like this big lecture on why it's not good. You know, obviously it's not good when the kids get sick, but why it's so important to keep Kaidynce from getting sick, to like get her the flu shot and all of that stuff, and like take extra precaution, because when they get sick, they end up regressing, and we have to basically start from ground zero, and that's basically what we had to do. So it sucked really bad. I cried, but then I remembered, I mean, they took her off of the stage 2 purees, and they put her back on the stage 1, which, I mean, at the end of the day, she's still eating. They didn't take her completely off of any food, so that's a plus. And she didn't have pneumonia, which is amazing, awesome. So we're still headed in the right direction. We just kind of took a step back, and it'll happen. It's just gonna be all in her time. So now I know the importance of keeping her safe, keeping her healthy, so that we don't continue to have these kind of step backs and we can just move forward. So our new instructions based off of Thursday's appointment was basically just we can't try any stage 2 until Kaidynce is eating 4 ounces of the stage 1 purees a day. They want her to be taking that 1 4-ounce thing of like the bottle of puree 3 times a day. So like she'll finish 1 in 1 day or whatever. So once she gets at that point, we can move forward to the stage 2. They also said that we can give her baby cereal, but it has to be very thin. They also said, they also gave me like this brush thing, because one of the other things that they noticed is that she has like an aversion to like change into texture, and so they want to, in order to like stimulate her, we have like this little brush, and you brush her arms, her back, her legs, and her feet, and that's supposed to like give her that like stimulation and let her feel like different like feelings, different like textures on her body and stuff like that. And then we're also doing our regular like oral therapies. So what I do is I stick my finger all the way down, like all the way on her gum, and I do almost like compressions on each side, and I do this every time before she eats. And then I rub my finger on the top, the roof of her mouth, and then on the tongue from the middle down, and that kind of like makes her tongue do this, so that she starts to push the food back, because right now she's not pushing the food back, and that's why she's like choking, or she gets kind of like a wet sound. So those are the things that we're assigned to do. The thing with the brush too is after every diaper change, so I'm doing it like 6 to 7 times a day. Our next appointment is going to be next week on next Friday, September 14th, so I'll do another update then. But just after doing like our normal exercises and stuff like that, and after our appointment, today is Saturday, and she's doing so much better with her feeds. Today, she finished 1 tablespoon twice today. So in total, she's had 2 tablespoons, which is a lot more than what she was eating. So I'm happy she's starting to go back and starting to improve. So I'm hoping that by next Friday, she's up to 2 tablespoons twice a day, and then I'll probably try to do 2 tablespoons 3 times a day. My camera died, but basically I was wrapping up, so those were our updates. But yeah, if there's anything else that I left out, or any other questions or anything like that anybody has, just leave me a comment and I'll try to address it. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next week for our next update. Our next appointment is September 14th, so I will have that video up on September 16th, that Monday. Thank you.